Most of us who are traveling to Indonesia are coming here for Bali, the island of gods, the place that appears to be the most popular. We've spoken about traveling to Indonesia, and we've spoken about quarantines in Indonesia, and finally we are making the video to help you get to Bali if this is your final destination. As of February 2022, direct flights to Bali are opening up. So if you are flying directly to Bali and doing your quarantine here, then still watch our previous videos because the regulations are pretty much the same. But if you are doing your quarantine anywhere else that's not Bali, in order to fly domestically here in Indonesia, you need two documents. One is your vaccine certificate, and the other one is a negative PCR test done 72 hours before your flight. If you're like us and doing your quarantine in Jakarta or anywhere else in Indonesia, then you can actually book your plane ticket within 72 hours after your quarantine, because when you finish your quarantine, you will get a negative PCR test and it will be valid. The regulations here in Indonesia are changing quite rapidly, and that's because COVID is unpredictable. I would suggest that you actually book your flight to Bali towards the end of your quarantine, just like we did. Because as you might know, we had a 10-day quarantine and then it was changed to a 7-day quarantine. And because we only booked our flight after that change, we didn't have any unexpected costs. So I would suggest that you do the same so that everything can go smoothly. As mentioned in our previous video about quarantines, you will receive a clearance letter after your quarantine is finished. Be sure to keep this document handy and please don't lose it because you need to show it once you arrive at the airport. When you arrive to the CGK airport in Jakarta, you will see the clearance check stand quite near the entrance where people drop you off, and you can find that they will just check your documents and give it a stamp. Once they've stamped it, you can go straight to check-in. The check-in is quite usual and quite normal as any other airport, but there are some things you do need to pay attention to. Many airports have a designated check-in time, but it turns out the Jakarta CGK airport doesn't have a designated check-in time. You can simply check in as early as you like, which is really convenient in our opinion. When we were flying, Terminal 1 was actually Terminal 2, and we only found this out by actually asking for directions on how to get to Terminal 1. They then informed us that no, we were flying from Terminal 2. The scale at the airport is also a little bit inaccurate. We had 2 suitcases, and actually our heavier suitcase landed up weighing lighter than our lighter suitcase. So we were really surprised, but luckily we didn't exceed the limit. So my suggestion to you is just pack light, travel light, because then you won't have any unexpected expenses when it comes to being at the airport and checking in. When in doubt, just ask questions. We were sitting at our boarding gate waiting to board our flight, and we realized that there was no airplane coming in. We then asked a really helpful lady, and she told us that we were not actually boarding from D1, but we were boarding from D3. But there was no changes on the screen, so we were really confused, but luckily she was so helpful and we landed up boarding the flight from D3. When we arrived to the airport in Bali, we had to fill in an e-hack form on the Care Protect app, and all we had to do is really fill in some details about ourselves. It is really easy to do, but if you do run into any troubles, there are some volunteers there to help you. Having your hotel pick you up from the airport might be your best option. But if this is not an option for you, you can always order a taxi from Gojek or Grab. There are many YouTube videos talking about the reasonable price range of airport pickups, but you still need to do the work. You need to find the drivers and then you need to negotiate the price. On Grab and Gojek, the price is transparent. And if you have any issues or you run into any troubles, you can always ask the staff at the Gojek or Grab stand at the airport for help.
And also, another very important advantage that Grab and Gojek have over the traditional taxis is that these apps will tell you exactly where the car is taking you. If you are traveling alone or this is your first time coming to Bali, it's very important for you to know that you are safe, right? So keep that in mind.
That's all from us. I hope this video was helpful and that you travel safe. If you are coming to Bali, maybe I'll see you here. If not, see you in the next video.